Yeah, grabbed it, swung him by the neck.
Why'd you do that?
So, on the topic of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus wrestling, would you rather be a cauliflower-eared, ankle-picking, wrestling, Greco champion maniac wrestler, right? Would you rather be that, just a freaking
Okay.
mauler, or or a black belt in jiu-jitsu from a reputable place like Danaher Death Squad or something like
I will
that?
take
Like,
John Danaher for 100, Alex. Thank you. Oh,
you
I'm
will?
I'm thinking about going to Puerto Rico to try and find them like right now. I mean, I
Huh.
don't got shit to do. I ain't got no job.
Like, I was, because I was thinking about this, and I don't know enough about jiu-jitsu to have my mind made up.
That's
But
fair.
at this juncture, I would rather be a cauliflower-eared wrestler. I would rather be one of those absolute savages at wrestling.
Here's all right.
But
Continue.
I would say this because the level of like violence that comes with that, like being a for real like mauler, sets me up better for an actual fight than I think being a tactician at grappling.
Well, this is going to get into the weeds because I feel like it depends what kind of jiu-jitsu you play. If you're like a gi guy that specializes in a lot of de la hiva, spider guard, worm guard, squid guard, shout out to Keenan Cornelius, and all that weird shit, or even like deep X, K guard. If you like specialize in that stuff, that might not be conducive to like a good fight because you really don't want a dude standing up in a posture over you. But if you're someone like me, like I don't play that kind of shit. I'm kind of a little too thick to be doing that type of shit anyway. I'm not anatomically built. I don't even know if that's the right fucking way to say that, but I'm more into like butterfly guard, sweeps, reversals, shoulder crunches, top pressure, lockdown. Like I pull guard. I don't give a fuck. I got some judo tosses and some trips in the bag, but I really don't wrestle. I got bad joints, bad knees, all them years of hooping. My ankle's destroyed, my knees destroyed. Wrestling ain't the fucking move for me, cuz. So if you want to come take me down, that's cool as long as I know I can retain guard, lock you down to where you can't posture over me, and then reverse the position. I'll accept it. I'm cool with it. Take me to the ground. Because if you blast double me, as long as I get these knees on your hips, if we're talking about like, we're not talking about like a dude that's proficient in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. We're talking about just a wrestler trying to fight me in the streets. As long as we're at the same tier, I'm not talking like some dude that just won the fucking national championship. Yeah, I'm going to get mouth fucked to death over here. But same of experience level, I feel confident that I'm going to reverse that.
I'm saying like, would you rather be John Danaher or Cale Sanderson?
I'd want to be John Danaher all day, every
Like,
day.
because like I'm thinking about this, and I'm looking back at all the World Star videos that I've watched, and all these people fight, right? And I'm like, most fights end up on the
Most
ground.
fights end up on the ground, period.
But how they get there is usually one of two ways, right? And usually it's very small margin of dudes that are pulling guard, right? I see it every once in a while. Like a dude will like just hang guard, put him in full guard, and then do some jujitsu stuff, right? But I've seen a lot of people get tossed,
Oh, yeah.
like violently tossed, and it's over,
Well,
right? You Greco throw somebody or judo toss somebody, do something crazy like that in the street. It's
oh,
done.
yeah. Like, my grandfather was a black belt in judo. He's a judo instructor, so he's taught me some things through life without me really knowing. But when I hip toss people at jiu-jitsu using these judo moves and they're hitting a mat, that shit fucking hurts. Could you imagine on concrete? That might be the fight right there.
That's my only thing is like I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, you actually hit a double, not a blast double, which is basically like a low
Yeah.
takedown. right? Like Jordan Burroughs, shout out to Jordan Burroughs. That technique works fantastic.
That's a great
in the gym,
on the mat
right?
technique. But you can't just blast double someone and walk back, blast double them, walk back. You know what I mean? That ain't happening in a fight.
But I'm talking like fucking straight up high crotches, single legs, like big man doubles, legs all the way up in the air, just like whoop, boom, right on your dome piece, right? Like dipping people, right? Because I've seen a lot of people get dipped in real life, and like people look like they're dead in the water when they get dipped like that. Like even if they don't lose consciousness, they're like, "What in God's name has just happened to me?" Which is also similar to what I believe would happen if you don't know anything and you get in a grappling match with a jiu-jitsu guy like a John Danaher or Gordon Ryan, Dylan Dannett, any of these dudes. Like, it's got to be terrifying, but less violent. That's my point.
I don't know. If you go peep John Danaher's little spiel on like jiu-jitsu for street fighting, there's a line in there. It's one of my favorite Danaher quotes. He says, "At no point in time should your knuckles be bloody until your heels are covered in their blood." Basically saying you need to like stomp their face in first before you even bother punching them. And he's very systematic. It's John Danaher. So it's like when he's like going through it, he's in a fucking hockey jersey and like khaki shorts. It's crazy. You should watch that.
Right. Interesting.
It might change your mind a little bit.
Like I said, I'm just thinking of these Gracies just being like, let me pull you on my guard. Let me pull you on my guard. Let me show you this.
Let's not forget how the Gracies in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu got its start. They literally went from dojo to dojo and challenged other like martial arts disciplines, black belts, to street fights. Right. And they would just like, a lot of times it would be like shirtless, like no gi style essentially, and they would just beat the fuck out of people for fun. And then they'd slap hands, drink Coronas, and be like, that was fun, let's go beat up someone else. And that's how this martial art got started. There's not a lot of woo and fucking karate and all that bullshit. It's like, here's some Brazilian dudes that like to beat the fuck out of people.
Because, like, there was a time in UFC where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was king. Mm-hmm. Absolute king. And at some point, like right now, it's very even. It's very even with the people that don't make the wrestling mistakes that most wrestlers make.
Yeah, standard traditional wrestling.
Like, I'm going to put one arm in, one arm out. I'm going to put my hand on, on the floor. All these little things. I'm gonna put my head right in the pocket, as opposed to leaving it out of the way of a guillotine. They turn into chokes. Yeah. All the normal stuff, like giving up your back.
Wrestlers are so terrified of going on their back. They've noticed it's easy to sweep them. It's easy to take the back, and it's easy to fucking choke them sometimes, just because of that shoulder fear.
So, like I said, Jiu-Jitsu at one time reigned king with those people, but now it's getting to the point to where these guys know enough, and I think that's the main juncture in this argument that would make me lean towards Jiu-Jitsu, is because if you don't know any Jiu-Jitsu and you're a wrestler going up against a high-level guy, he's gonna catch you. Just because you don't know anything.
Here's my thing too, is like when I think of, because for this argument in my mind, I'm taking it as high-level wrestler, no jiu-jitsu experience. Jiu-jitsu guy, no wrestling experience. That's how I'm trying to piece this together. When I look at the high-level wrestler in a street fight, I fought wrestlers back in they usually can't throw hands very well. And what they really want to do is just smash you into the ground and hold you there. So there's not like a whole lot of damage accumulating. You're not getting submitted. You're not really getting beat on. You're just getting held down.
I saw that a lot too. A lot of times, like the wrestlers that I watched get in a fight, they would dip the dude hard as fuck, and then let him up, and then dip him again.
Rubbing chests,
and they would just keep. Well, most of the time they would just get out of there.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like when I look at that, and it's like if you're a wrestler and you're just putting pressure on a jiu-jitsu dude, particularly a jiu-jitsu player that's good off his back, full guard, anything like that, open guard, butterflies, however you want to play it. The longer you're keeping him on his back, the more trouble you're going to get in, because he's going to figure something out. He's going to find a hole or something. You're going to get reverse submitted or something. So if you know what I mean, and because the thing is, when you wrestle to strike a downed opponent, you still have to posture up first, correct? You can't throw punches laying chest to chest. It ain't going to hurt nobody.
Yep.
So once you posture up, if he's a good jiu-jitsu player, he's waiting for you to posture up. Like for me, I'm gonna hold you down. As soon as you posture up, sweep. I'm using your momentum to add to my sweep. Or if you try to rain down a right, I might try to slip it, catch it, and I'm taking that arm. I'll break that bitch. I'm gonna poke you with it.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna call this. We're gonna say jiu-jitsu as its own purity. We're gonna say jiu-jitsu beats wrestling in the purest of states.
In the purest of sense.
And next week we're gonna put jiu-jitsu against another pure
Muay
art
Thai.
form, and then we'll see where we're at. Well, you're fucking done. In my opinion, you're fucking done. But we're not even gonna go there right now. We'll wait till next week. Saturday, UFC Fight Night, UFC Apex Arena, Whittaker versus Gastelum.
Ooh-wee.
I think Whittaker is going to take that one. What do you got? What do you got for us?
All right, let me
night?
lead off first with my prelim fight to watch. Shout out to Miss Tracy Cortez. She is also the prelim featured bout, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona. She is a wrestler-based, spicy young lady, but much like old girl that I talked about last time who didn't get to fight, but she likes to wrestle aggressively for the sake of hitting you. She's not really heavy in the striking department standing up, but she's like short, thick, with good like body mechanics to hold you down and hit you. Short arms, you know what I mean? So she came up through the Contender Series. A lot of her fights ended by TKO to punches to the face, which is a lot for a flyweight division of women. So check out Tracy Cortez prelim bout to watch. As far as the main card, this joint's low-key stacked. Maybe not for the casuals, but for
a fight
for
night,
those
yeah.
for a fight. But this could be a pay-per-view card if you're non-casual, if you're not like Brian.
Yeah.
But you got
sure.
Ricardo Ramos starting off. Fucking violent Bob Ross is on this card fighting Alexander Munoz. You got fucking Alisson. They got my boy Chase Sherman, Big White, fighting the legend Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky. Arlovsky definitely getting knocked the fuck out. Sorry, though. Then the fun fight, co-main, Drakkar Close, Jeremy, Little Heathen Stevens. I feel like Close is about to crack that man.
Right here. The hardest hitting 145.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
It's
is
an interesting
that guy?
fight, too, because Close is unranked, and Stevens is number 10, so big jump for Mr. Drakkar. That's a motherfucker can fight. And then obviously main event, Robert Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum. Gastelum's on what, a 4-fight skid? These two were supposed to fight for the title when Bobby Nux had the fucking strap back in the day. He had an emergency surgery on his stomach. Kelvin ended up fighting Izzy. Obviously Izzy won, went on to beat Whittaker and be who he is now, but Rob's on the comeback run. Kelvin's on a skid. Kelvin really shouldn't be a middleweight. He's just fucking fat. He should be a 170 welterweight like he used to be, but he just eats too fucking much and smokes too much pot.
He does hit like
It's
a
like
truck,
a fucking truck, but he's small in stature for the weight class, and he's flubby. He's like more flubby than I am. Like, damn, bro. Like, he makes me feel good. Like, you're a professional athlete. Like, damn, I look like a professional athlete.
Got that DC
But no, I
bod.
think Bobby Knuckles just going to pick him apart, moving around, nice and solid. I don't think we've seen a very good form of Whittaker when he fought Adesanya for the strap. And I feel like he took some time off. His fight against Jared Cannonier was on point, technical, looking good, feeling more relaxed. I think we're going to see a rejuvenized Robert Whittaker, and I think he's just going to pick Kelvin apart and get the stoppage.
Sounds good to me.
That's all I got to say about that.
I'm definitely gonna watch this weekend.
As you should.
Right before the Husky Boy actually coming out Saturday to try the cast iron cathedral chicken.
Ooh.
I'm gonna be making my
Now,
chicken.
did you get that chicken from old boy?
Take care of your chicken. No.
That would taste it better if you did.
Yeah, grabbed it, swung him by the neck.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you swing it by its neck? You just took the whole humane out of here.
That's the way I've been taught to fucking kill chicken. You grab him by the neck and you swing him around.
What?
That's
So you
what I
take
was
the
told
chicken's
as a
just
child.
over here living his life, and you're just like,
Pretty much.
I feel like there's better ways to do this, but I'm all right.
Probably is, but this is what I was told
That's what
as a
you
child.
gray-haired folks are told.
That's what I was told. No, Nakanos didn't tell me that.
Oh,
That's for
is
sure.
this-
Yeah.
This the old gold-toothed god himself told you that, didn't he?
That's,
Mhm.
Yep. I'm assuming that's the way he would
Oh,
do it.
well, you know what? In that case, I renounce my comments.
Well, let's do my favorite portion of the show, Husky's mind blowers,
Ooh.
where I blow the Husky's mind. Let me just add a little suspense to that. We're gonna talk about auto brewery syndrome. Brewery.
Hold on, I might know about this one. Is this the one where people ferment in their own stomachs to get drunk? Oh,
Yes,
yeah, let's
sir.
get it.
All right, so this is a syndrome where people, they ferment what's in their stomach, kind of like a cow does, and they get piss wasted. This actually had me thinking: are cows fucked up? Like, are monkeys and like gorillas, are they fucked up? Because they all ferment. Like,
Actually,
I don't know. Is
I
it
came
possible?
through an IFL Science article talking about how like monkeys, gorillas, orangutans do intentionally get drunk off fermentation.
Well, that makes sense.
It's a party, it's a party, it's a party.
So yeah, these people, if they eat a bunch of carbs, they end up having a little microbrewer in them guts, and end up getting fucked up, which actually sounds awesome. I don't know if it is, but it kind of like, if I could control that, it would be kind of fun.
If I didn't get a hangover, that'd be lit.
So, of course, I like to come up with random questions to make this more fun, especially since he already knew what I was talking about.
Not this week,
Right.
son.
Would you rather your body get cocaine high or super weed stoned randomly?
Oh, randomly?
Like, would you rather be like auto fucked up cocaine status or auto fucked up super stoned?
I need some more parameters real quick. First question. What, like, how, like, I have no input on this randomness. It's like I don't eat something and then it happens at some point. It's just random.
No, you do, but that's the follow-up
Okay.
question is what would you want your trigger to be?
So if I could have a triggered either cocaine high or just weed stoned, I'm definitely take the weed stoned.
You're gonna take random like weed stoned. All right, so I'm gonna create the trigger, right? I'm gonna create a fucked up trigger for you. All right, let me think about this one. So, would you rather get like cokehead status high, like let's see, your trigger is every time you listen to the R&B group Boys to Men,
That is quite often in my personal life.
or get weed stoned every time you listen to Maynard James Keenan.
I'd
From
rather
Tool.
I'd rather get cocaine railed off of Boys to Men because I never want to listen to Tool ever.
I was trying to figure out what you would like more. If like, oh, the only way I could feel this is if I listen to the band that I don't want to listen to.
Dang, I'm gonna be hyped up every morning. I got Boys to Men on, like, I have like a little morning playlist to kind of get the day going, some positive vibes, and there's a lot of Boys to Men on there. I'll be in that gym fucking getting it every day.